Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Abby.
And I am Dr. Liz. Welcome to our ninth episode of What's Up, Docs, where we talk about movement patterns and how they can affect our voices for good or for ill. And just a quick shout out, Abby and I are really excited. We're designing a program for singers on how we can improve our movement patterns and our singing voices. It'll start in October. Hit us up if you want more information about that. Abby, take it away.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about how sometimes we end up relying too heavily on our diaphragm for our posture rather than letting it kind of fluctuate as we breathe and as we sing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so you can see this gorgeous picture by Frank Netter, who is like the man of anatomical art. So you should be seeing this picture of the front of your body as though someone like scooped out your guts. So your intestines are gone, your stomach is gone, your liver is gone. And so we're looking at the front of you, kind of deep into the back of your like trunk cavity, abdominal cavity. So this domey muscle at the top is your diaphragm. And the important part for today is looking at these little like fingery attachments down onto the spine. And there's a little bit more attachment on the right than the left. And you can see how the dome isn't necessarily symmetrical. The reason I want to point that out is because symmetry is not necessarily the goal. We just want things to be able to be variable and have you have a choice in how you move. So as you walk, when you shift onto one foot, that side of the diaphragm domes up and you get a little bit more pull on one side of the spine so that it rotates you. And as you shift to the other side, it'll rotate you to the other way. So your diaphragm does have some jurisdiction over the rotation or orientation of your trunk as you move. The way that this matters for singing is that if you have had some kind of pattern or like injury that gets you really committed to one side, that diaphragm is going to get stuck over there and you're going to end up really using that pull onto the attachment part of your spine. The other way that I see this is when people come in and they're really just like elevated on both sides and kind of walk with their arms out to the side.
Oh, body
There and the bodybuilder arms. That's right. That's right. So what ends up happening is you end up using the diaphragm attachment to your spine to help hold you up, which is going to then limit how much it can relax and let you exhale. So Liz is going to take you through a nice breathing exercise that will help you try to find some release in that diaphragm.
Yeah, that's super cool, Abby. I think that we see this all the time in the studio, and one of the ways that it presents itself is just a general inability to release in the abdomen and the trunk and down to the pelvic floor. So I like to do all my exercises have multiple parts. We start really small and then we kind of build on them. And I'm just going to do the whole exercise, talking you through the steps. So the first thing we'll do, just put a hand on your chest and then a hand on your upper belly, really at the sternum. So not on your gut, but more at the sternum. And I'll move my camera down just a bit. Okay. And so I like to do this one seated because I use the seat as feedback. When I'm really releasing, I feel a little bit of a press down in the seat. So just take a few breaths right here. And notice how your hand that's near your sternum is going to move. And then the one on your chest is going to be pretty calm. And just pay attention. And this is the first step where people really start to feel when they relax and release. Not only do they get expansion here at the sternum, but they might feel it in their back as well. This might be a good time to remind folks about their sits bones. Are you sitting on your sits bones? We don't want this, and we don't want collapsing. We want right on the tips of those sits bones.
And heels on the floor.
Heels on the floor, yeah, thank you. That's easy to forget. And then the next step, after we get just awareness is always the first step, okay? We get the awareness here. Then the next thing I do is I add a contraction, and it's an overly done contraction. We'll never use a contraction like this for singing, okay? So it'll be an inhale where I'm releasing and letting the air fall in, and then I'm going to exhale, 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 and it's going to be a forceful, not necessarily fast, but forceful, where I'm exhaling and I'm squeezing in my abs as much as I can until I get, and I normally won't have them talking while they're doing this, out, 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 keeping the shoulders soft, engaging, 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 and then release. And then again on the exhale, 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 exhale. Tight, 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 tight in here. Try to keep your shoulders soft. And release. And what that release does is it allows folks to really feel the abdomen expanding. And it really lets you feel that you don't need to suck the air in. If you have that release, and it doesn't need to be to that extent every time, but that release is going to work with the breath to bring the air in. And then the third step I like to do is adding voice to this. So the same thing. Exhale, 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 exhale. Release. And just do that a couple of times, because then you feel that release on the inhale, and the V is great. It's a semi-occluded vocal tract exercise, and it helps us to feel that healthy engagement in the abs without overdoing it. Because if there's one thing that I think all of us see in the studio is students want to overdo it, and they want to have control. And that tightness, it doesn't serve us. So we want engagement, but we want to be able to move within that engagement. So yeah, these are things that I do in the studio to help kind of release here. And I actually learned about the diaphragm as an overly used as a support muscle today with Abby. Well, yesterday when we talked about it, but it really made sense in what I see in my students. And so I was really excited to be able to apply this exercise and add to what she just said. So very cool. Again, Abby and I are super excited about putting together a program for singers to help folks sing with more freedom, to sing with healthier movement patterns. And yeah, it starts in October. Hit us up.
If there was any part of today's video that really stuck with you and you know people in your lives who would benefit from it, please share. And we will see you next Wednesday at 9:30.
Ooh, special guest.
Very special guest. We're really excited about this one. Please tune in. It's going to be awesome.
Bye.